The pursuit of individual greatness has sparked a massive shift in the Philadelphia landscape, leaving fans questioning if the team's offensive identity was ever truly enough for its star wide receiver. Fly, Eagles, fly. We are seeing a major transition that forces us to look beyond the scoreboard and into the mindset of a player who demands more than just wins. Shout out to the dedicated fans tuning in from Philadelphia and beyond. You make this community thrive. Something is happening behind the scenes that could redefine how we view superstar production and team loyalty in 2026. Hit that subscribe button to stay ahead of the narrative as we dive deep into the real reasons for this departure. At the center of this debate is A.J. Brown, whose relentless drive for excellence has finally pushed him toward a new chapter outside of Philadelphia. The reality is that for A.J. Brown, winning a championship was only the beginning of a larger, more internal checklist. Once he reached the pinnacle of the NFL, the goal shifted from team success to the singular pursuit of greatness, a standard he felt the recent offensive structure of the team could no longer support. As the 2026 season approaches, it is becoming clear that his exit wasn't just about football. It was about a philosophical disconnect between a player who demands elite statistical output and a franchise that leaned into a more risk-averse, ground-heavy approach. When you look at the trajectory of his numbers, the frustration becomes tangible. Brown's production dipped significantly, with his yards per separation hitting a career low, and his receiving yards falling well below the elite tier he occupies in his own mind. He was not satisfied with being part of a winning machine that limited his opportunities to dominate the game. This obsession with being the absolute best in the league made it difficult for him to stay engaged when the ball wasn't coming his way consistently. The situation reached a breaking point, characterized by cryptic social media posts and a growing sense of isolation despite the team's record. For A.J. Brown, the jersey on his back was always secondary to the mark he wanted to leave on the history of the sport. And now, he's betting everything on a fresh start elsewhere to validate his status as a legendary receiver. The transition to a new environment is always a gamble, but for A.J. Brown, moving to the New England Patriots is a calculated attempt to reclaim his status as an elite playmaker. By joining the Patriots, he isn't just changing teams. He is actively seeking a system that prioritizes his skill set in a way the Philadelphia offense did not. Working under Mike Vrabel again provides a sense of familiarity, but the real intrigue lies in his partnership with offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels. We have seen how McDaniels elevates receivers, most notably his work with Davante Adams, and the potential for a massive statistical resurgence is the primary driver of this move. Fans need to understand that this is not a casual career pivot. It is an aggressive reclamation project. A.J. Brown enters an offense that desperately needs a true number one threat, meaning the targets he felt deprived of in Philadelphia will likely come in abundance. With Drake May showing remarkable efficiency, leading the league in yards per attempt and maintaining a high completion percentage, the infrastructure is perfectly aligned for Brown to chase those high-volume stats he craves. If he stays healthy, we are looking at a potential return to all-pro caliber production. This move essentially puts the burden of proof squarely on his shoulders. He can no longer point to an offensive scheme or a run-first philosophy as the reason for his output. If he doesn't hit the numbers he believes he's capable of in this specific, high-volume environment, the narrative surrounding his legacy will face a permanent, uncomfortable shift. This is the ultimate test of his self-belief in a league that demands consistency. Why does this shift really matter for the future of the Eagles and the landscape of the NFL? This is about more than just one player changing teams. It represents the constant friction between individual ambition and collective team philosophy in the modern game. For the Eagles, losing a talent of his caliber is a massive blow to the offense, regardless of whether you agreed with his frustrations or not. It forces the front office to reevaluate how they integrate superstar personalities into their culture. If a player as talented as A.J. Brown cannot find satisfaction in a winning environment because the scheme doesn't feature him enough, it creates a dangerous precedent for future star acquisitions. The ripple effect here hits the entire division and the NFC playoff race. A.J. Brown moving to the AFC shifts the power balance, potentially turning the Patriots into a legitimate contender if their passing game explodes as expected. Conversely, the Eagles now have to find a way to maintain their offensive output without their primary vertical threat. This is where the season gets unpredictable. We are watching a high-stakes experiment. Can a team maintain its championship identity after losing its biggest offensive focal point to a search for individual greatness? The answer will define the next 2 years for both organizations. If the Eagles succeed without him, it proves the system is king. If he torches the league in New England, it validates his decision to leave and casts doubt on the franchise's ability to maximize its elite talent. This is the drama that keeps us watching every single Sunday, and it is far from over. The consequences of this move will be felt throughout the 2026 season as we see who truly benefits from this separation. For A.J. Brown, the pressure is immense. He has staked his reputation on the idea that he is one of the best receivers in football, and now he is in an environment where that reputation will either be solidified or stripped away. If he puts up 1,500 yards, he will be hailed as a genius who knew his own worth. If he struggles with the transition, critics will point back to his time in Philadelphia as the peak of his career. Meanwhile, the team he left behind faces a unique challenge in distributing the football. We have to look at players like Devonta Smith and Dallas Goedert, who are now tasked with filling a massive void in target share. Does the offense become more efficient by spreading the ball around, or does it lose the explosive playmaking capability that A.J. Brown provided? The chemistry between Jalen Hurts and his remaining targets will be the single most important storyline to watch during training camp and the opening weeks of the season. A major departure like this usually signals a shift in the locker room culture. It forces the leadership group to reset their expectations and redefine what the identity of this offense actually is. Will they become a more balanced, multifaceted unit, or will they miss that one dominant force who could break a game open on a single slant route? The season is a long road, but the immediate impact of this change will be the litmus test for how the coaching staff handles adversity and change. Ultimately, this entire saga boils down to a question of what we value more in our sports heroes: the ring on their finger or the numbers on the stat sheet. A.J. Brown has clearly chosen his path, seeking the latter in New England while leaving a championship-caliber team behind. Whether this becomes a cautionary tale or a masterclass in betting on yourself remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: the NFL is a league of constant movement, and no franchise is immune to the desire of its stars to chase their own version of greatness. We are watching the evolution of a star who felt limited, and his journey through the 2026 season will either make him a legend or leave fans wondering, what if? As we move forward, the questions remain: was the frustration justified, or was he already in the best place for his career? I want to hear from you, the diehard fans. Do you think A.J. Brown made the right move chasing stats in New England, or should he have stayed to try and win another ring in Philly? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. Are you rooting for his massive comeback, or do you think he's leaving his best football behind? Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed the breakdown, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a beat on our team's progress. We have a massive season ahead, and we are going to cover every single twist and turn as it happens. Keep those comments coming, and I will see you in the next one.